If you've been thinking about taking piano lessons, you're probably thinking, should I take piano lessons online or should I take piano lessons locally with the guy down the street or in the town? Is there a difference? Which is better? Well, today we're going to look at some of the pros and cons. I'm going to highlight some of the positives of taking music online, because that's what I do. I teach music online. And then I'm going to sort of point out some of the challenges that you may want to think about if you want to take piano lessons locally. All right? So that's what we're going to take a look at today. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. With the rise of the internet and all the technology that is now available for us today, online lesson has become a lot more easier, more promising, but also more exciting. And so a lot more people are taking the option to want to take music online, study piano or whatever instruments you're interested in. So, is taking in-person lessons still a thing? Should people still be doing that? Absolutely. But it's important to think about some things first to see if it aligns with you wanting to take piano lessons and if it works for your life and your current schedule. So, pros and cons. Online versus in person. Now, the first obstacle of taking piano lessons in person is the geographical constraint, right? In-person lessons require you to be physically present, limiting your options if you have a busy schedule or live in a remote area. That can be difficult. I mean, just if you live in a city, just think about trying to navigate the traffic, the after work, after school traffic to get to a piano studio. It can be a nightmare. You're probably going to be late, or you get there and you have to sit around and wait because the person before you probably was late and the teacher's trying to extend their time. It's a mess. For someone who used to teach piano in person, I have experienced all of it. At one point, I used to travel to the students' home to give the lessons because for some reason, I thought that was going to be easier. But then I get stuck in traffic every day, trying to navigate traffic and back roads to get to the students' home. And just trying to keep a schedule was difficult. Not to mention it limited the amount of students I could teach within the day because I spend a lot of that time traveling back and forth. So that's one of the limitations of in-person lessons, is the geographical constraint. Opposed to taking piano lessons online, you can access top-notch teachers from around the world without being limited by your location. I mean, just think about it. For me, my program over at pianolessonwithwarren.com, I have students from the UK, from Canada, all over the United States, from Africa, from Asia, all over Europe, right? And they can jump online and they can study with me all the way over here in the United States, down in Florida. Now, if those people in the UK and all those places wanted to take gospel piano lessons, chances are the availability within their individual community to find someone that is sort of, that's their thing, it's probably slim to none. And again, if you live in remote areas, that chance drops to zero. So that's one of the benefits of taking piano lessons online, is you get worldwide access to teachers of all different caliber and skill sets. Another pro of taking piano lessons online: piano lessons can be more affordable due to the lower overhead costs for teachers, as well as savings on transportation. So because for us teachers, the overhead cost of doing this, producing videos, is not very high. In fact, once you get the gear, that's it. You don't have to keep spending. Unlike a local piano studio, they have to pay rent, right? If they're not doing it out within their home, if they're doing it at a studio somewhere, chances are they're paying monthly rent for that facility, and you have to kind of contribute to the cost of that. So the cost is higher. Higher cost in-person lessons often come with higher fees due to teachers' expenses. Like, for example, pianolessonwithwarren.com, to study with me for a year in my program costs $327 approximately, right? The cost of studying with a local teacher for the year at minimum is going to run you about $2,500, $2,500. And that's at minimum. Most piano teachers that I know, to study with them for a year, you're looking at about $3,000 to $4,000. That's where it sits. So, I mean, that's not even comparable right there. It just makes sense to take piano lessons online. Moving down the line, pros and cons of taking piano lessons online: flexibility within the schedule. Online lessons allow you to schedule lessons at your convenience, making it easier to fit them into your busy schedule. Versus teaching in-person piano, you might have fewer options for lesson times to align to your availability. Because again, you're a busy individual, you're working a 9-to-5 job. Most piano studios may open between, say, like 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. So you get out of job at 5, you have 3 hours before that piano studio closes. And you got to run errands and navigate traffic and all of that. So it severely limits the availability. You know, you probably get there, your mind is not in the right place, you're tired, but you paid for this time, so you have to show up and you got to do the work. Online now, you can, if you're doing an in-person via like Zoom or Skype, you could probably easily reschedule that, because again, it's not taking away from the instructor's time if you have to reschedule. I offer some one-to-one personalized sessions for my students when they join my program, and oftentimes people need to reschedule. In fact, my system is set up a way that if someone needs to reschedule, they don't even have to contact me. They can just go into their system, their account, and just say cancel, and then it gives them an option for them to reschedule with me, and they book it. Everything is done on their end, and then everything is updated on my end. No problem, no questions asked. They're not missing anything, I'm not missing anything. It's awesome, right? So that's one of the challenges of taking in-person lessons, is just that flexibility. And if you have kids, you're trying to enroll into piano lessons and you got to drag them to all of these different places and after school activities, it becomes a nightmare. Moving down the line, another pro of teaching piano, of learning piano lessons online versus in-persons, is the variety of instructors. You have a broader choice of teachers, each with their own expertise and teaching style, increasing the chance of you finding a good fit. Again, just go back to, we're talking about the entire world right here. Right now, you can study with a lot of teachers from Berkeley University, one of the top sort of music university in the United States, online, right? So if you live outside the country, you don't have to, you can still get access to those teachers through online. Again, for me, gospel piano. If you live in a community that doesn't really do any gospel piano and you want to learn the gospel piano style, in-person lessons, you have no option there. You show up at a studio, they're going to teach you what they can teach you. You want to learn gospel piano, you can't do that. But online, you have dozens of options of teachers to pick from. The fact that you're watching this video now tells me Piano Lesson with Warren is the place that you prefer to learn your gospel piano. So it's good to have you here. Welcome. And while you're here, if you haven't hit that subscribe button yet and the notification bell, you want to do so you can stay up to date when I post new videos such as this one. With in-person lessons, you risk incompatibility, right? If you and your teacher have a mismatched teaching learning style, it can hinder your progress and enjoyment. And I've seen that happen from time to time. A lot of, especially younger kids who want to learn piano, and so they just sign up for the piano studio that is in their neighborhood. And the teacher's like, well, time to learn some Bach, Beethoven, and Chopin. And these kids just want to learn the top 100 pop songs and Disney songs, that's it. But the teacher don't know any of that stuff. They only know how to play the classics. So there's an incompatibility problem right there. And that's the downside, right? Another pro of learning piano lessons online, I keep saying teaching. There are plenty of pros to teaching piano lessons online, but we're talking about the learning part. Another pro of learning piano lesson online is that you get to do it in the comfort of your home. So one of the downside of in-person learning is that the distraction that it provides. Learning in a new environment might introduce distractions that aren't present in your own practice space. So if the piano studio is located in like a strip mall where there's multiple other lessons being taught, probably a drummer next door bashing away, a guitar player next door wailing away, there's people walking back and forth outside, you can hear talking, there's a highway next door, so there's a trucks passing back and forth. So there's a lot of external noise when you're trying to practice or trying to learn, and that distraction can eventually become something that's just a hinder to your growth. That doesn't exist when you're in the home. Your comfort of your home, you're relaxed, your mind's at peace. It's very easier to learn there. Another downside of in-person lessons is the missed opportunities. If your teacher cancels or you're unable to attend a lesson, you miss out on that specific learning opportunity versus online where the videos are often recorded. Many online teachers can record their video lessons, allowing you to review and practice with the materials at your own pace. So like over at pianolessonwithwarren.com, we have over 500 video tutorial lessons. They're all pre-recorded and a lot of them come with downloadable sheets, and checklists, and all of that stuff. So it makes learning a lot easier. Now you go to a piano studio, the teacher show you some stuff. 2 days later, you're trying to remember, well, what did the teacher do again? Is it the way they did it? You have to sit with that discomfort of not knowing until you see them again. Versus video lessons, you can record, you can slow down, you can rewind, you can see exactly what they did. And oftentimes, like I said, especially at pianolessonwithwarren.com, you have PDF accompaniments. So if you're learning a song from me, you have lead sheets, you have PDF, you have MIDI files, you have backing tracks, and you have the video that you can watch. So it really does make that learning experience a lot more fulfilling. A downside of learning piano lessons in person is that pressure to perform. Some students might feel more pressured during in-person lessons, potentially impacting their learning experience. Some people are just shy. I used to be a nervous wreck myself, and having to play for your teacher or for a small group of students, because a lot of people offer group piano lessons. So you're in a group and you got to play for the peers and for the teacher week after week. And that can pose just a lot of anxiety. And some people just don't like that, especially if you're learning piano for just your own personal entertainment and enjoyment. You're not necessarily doing this to be a performer. So having to deal with that external pressure to perform can be discouraging. I know also a lot of teachers that do in-person lessons, they do recitals at the end of the year where their students perform. And so now there's a social pressure for you to join the recital. Now they don't make it mandatory, but if everybody's in the studio doing these lessons, doing these recitals, and you're not, there's sort of a social pressure there that can be discouraging for some people, right? Now, one of the pros of taking music lessons online is the global community that it offers. You can connect with fellow students and musicians from all over the world, creating a diverse and supportive learning community. Over at pianolessonwithwarren.com, we have a vibrant community of people from not only from all over the United States, but from the Caribbean, from all over Africa, from Asia, from the UK, from Canada. I mean, I've gotten the chance to meet some amazing people doing amazing things that I never would have met otherwise if they weren't in my program. And a lot of these people have sort of become pretty good friends. They met in the program over at pianolessonwithwarren.com. Again, versus in person, the chance of you getting the opportunity to meet somebody new or meet multiple people new from different backgrounds and experiences is slim to none. Now, another thing that I love about teaching music online, and I know a lot of students who take music online in my program that they also like, is the focused learning environment. Online lessons encourages self-discipline and independent learning, as you're often responsible for managing your practice routine. So for some people, that might be a con. They might say, well, I like external pressure. Personally, I like to be able to move and learn at my own pace. And I know most adults like that as well. You're a busy individual. You got a job, you got kids, you got a family to take care of. That pressure of having to be at a certain place at a certain time and be prepared with a certain thing to execute, it can be a lot of challenge. Versus online, you get to move at your own pace and you kind of get to craft things that is more suitable for your own learning style. And lastly, one more thing I want to point out about the pro of learning piano online is the customized learning. With a variety of online resources available, you can supplement your lessons with tutorial videos and exercises tailored to your needs. Now, as you all know, AI has been taking over, especially here since 2023. And so there are so many musical tools that's coming out right now that makes learning a lot easier. A lot of apps that you can use for like ear training, to really strengthen your theory knowledge, quizzes, all of those things. Technology certainly does make learning a lot easier. Now you can slow down audio. When you're trying to transcribe, you have program now that can isolate different instruments. Program now that can tell you the chords. With MIDI, the use of MIDI, you can see exactly stuff that I play. You can slow it down, you can see the chord, you can see the fingering, the voicing. That stuff just simply is not available in-person lessons. We have this wonderful program or this app integration over at Piano Lesson with Warren. It's called Sound Slice. And what that does, you get to hear the full backing track, piano and everything going, but then you get to see the piano movement, all the stuff that I'm doing, and then you get to see an annotated score of everything that's being played on the piano. And you can slow it down, you can transpose it into another key, all of these amazing tools that simply does not exist in-person lessons. So, there you have it. The pro and con for learning piano lessons online, taking piano lessons online or in person. Now, if you like this video and you'd like to see more comparison, I can do a video where I highlight the benefits of taking in-person lessons and the cons of taking online lessons. So if that's a video you'd like to see, comment down below. And then I'll see, based on the comment, if this is something people would like to see. Naturally, I am biased. I graduated from the teaching in-person lessons years ago to online simply because of the flexibility it provides. And like I said, I get to teach the thing I want to teach to the people who want to learn. As you can see, I'm all about gospel piano. And I get to teach that to people who want to learn that. I'm not being huddled about teach me this, teach me that. No, I just get to focus on what I want to teach. And that's one of the beauty of teaching online for teachers as well, such as myself. So if you find this video enlightening and educational, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe, and a like if you have not done so. Give me also a comment down below. Let me know what you think are some pros or cons that I may have missed. And lastly, if you want to take your gospel piano playing to another level, Piano Lesson with Warren is the place to be. What differentiates us from all the other online piano program? Structure. That's the thing. Gospel piano playing has sort of been a mystery for years. A lot of people who play gospel piano very well sort of grew up and learned it through trial and error. Over at Piano Lesson with Warren, you get a structure. No more guessing, no more trying to figure out chords and all of that, but there is a structure, step by step, a linear path that takes you from beginner to advanced. And that's what I offer over at pianolessonwithwarren.com. All right, so head over there, check it out. And have a wonderful week. Keep listening, keep singing, keep practicing, because that's how you'll continue to grow as a musician. Bye for now.